welcome to another edition of Hashtag Now Smoking. I'm Gary Korb, your host, and I am the executive editor for cigaradvisor.com. And today I'm going to be smoking the CAO Consigliere Soldier. And joining me is CAO's own Blender Rick Rodriguez.
Hey, Guy,
Rick,
how's it
welcome.
going? Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true, but I think we're closer to the end than we're at the beginning, so that's good news.
Yeah, I hope so. And it's been a while since I've had one of these consiglieres.
Yeah, you know what? When we launched this cigar, it was, it got onto the market, a huge hit, and it kind of tapered down. So for us to revisit this great legendary cigar, thank you so much, because it is a cigar that when they do find it and they understand the story behind it, and we'll get into that, they really love that cigar. But I think it's, the timing right now and just getting it back to the forefront of them thinking about these lines that we have in CAO, especially this cigar, Consigliere.
Yeah, it's a really fine cigar too, and we're going to get into the information on the cigar, which is it's blended and produced in Nicaragua.
Yes.
This is the Soldier is a 6x54 ring. I like those dimensions very much.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Brazilian wrapper, a Brazilian Matafina, which are nice wrappers. They're usually on the sweeter side. The binder's Honduran, and the filler, there are three fillers, one from Nicaragua, there are fillers from the Dominican and Colombia. So this is kind of a complex blend. It's interesting. I like that. And this beautiful cigar is an MSRP of about $8.99, which is well under $10. So today, that's pretty good. Now, what happened was with this cigar, it was released in 2016, and it followed a previously released line. Can we say the name of it?
You can, I can't, but you can. So.
Well, there was a line called The Sopranos. It was made for the show and all that. But eventually it left the market, but it came back in the form of the Consigliere, and it's, we just described the blend. It comes in two other sizes, an Associate, which is a 5x52 Robusto, and it comes in the Boss, which is a 7x56 Torpedo. So that's nice. So anyway.
My question to you is, we're missing a size, correct? I can answer that question.
Size we're smoking the Soldier, right?
Well, you know what? This is the first time I can share this. This is the first time I've announced this to anybody, that we are producing one more size to kind of coincide with the movie that they're going to launch called Dominoes. It's a prequel of the series short. And that name of that cigar that we're going to release is the Tony. And so we're going to Tony Soprano. Yeah, so I think we're going to release that maybe in the later half of this year, possibly the early of next year. We're trying to find out when they're going to release that movie. It's coming out.
Okay, that's interesting. So anyhow, I just wanted to, take a look at the cigar as we always do. I can inspect it. It has a beautiful CAO band. CAO has some like really nice bands. They have a lot of these die-cut bands, which I like.
And that's the original blend that they were using on the Sopranos.
That's right. It's the original blend. That they didn't change anything.
No, so, the story goes like this, if I can. So the first 2 years, the first year that they released the show, when CAO was approached by Sony that owned the rights to that series, it said, we don't know what we have, and we know that we're going to sell this show to HBO, but HBO doesn't know it's going to be a hit or not, so they only give us a year contract. And then we're going to release the show and the cigar, and then we'll fall back and talk again. The show was a huge hit. So right away, HBO approached Sony. We're going to give you another 3 years. And then they approached CAO again. They say, are you ready to launch that cigar again? And they said yes. But unfortunately, when they went back to Brasilia, because remember when they launched this for the first time, it was just the beginning of them growing wrapper for Brasilia. And so they approach, CAO said, we don't have any more of that wrapper. And so the third year, they changed the wrapper from Brasilia to the Connecticut broadleaf. And then when we wanted to bring it back, and you smoke the two together, night and day. The Brazilian works with that blend, and you can see the sales start to dip down when they introduced the blend using the Connecticut broadleaf. So when we wanted to relaunch this series, go back to the original, and that's the original wrapper that they were using for the first 2 years of that cigar.
Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to inspect it here, and it's really, really well packed. It's pretty tightly packed. It's got a beautiful triple cap, and it's just really, really nice. So I'm going to clip it. Rick, did you start yet, or you already got this going?
I've got it going. I couldn't hold on.
That's fine.
I love this cigar. I love it so much.
Well, I used to be a big fan of this line too. And you know what I noticed when I was looking up some research on some of the reviews, it looks like the Associate, which we reviewed on cigaradvisor.com. We did a panel review in 2017, a few years ago. And so that seemed to be the favorite. I couldn't find too many, if any, on this one. So I think that's why I also like doing the Soldier. So let's see the draw. It's nice. Getting kind of a leathery note, strong leathery note.
I can see that. I really can. And that's coming from the fillers. It really is. Because like you said at the beginning, that wrapper is known for some sweetness, and it takes about a third away. When you light the cigar, we'll talk through the cigar, but you'll realize about the third of the way, you're going to have a sweetness that added to that leathery, spicy flavor that you're kind of enjoying.
Cool. All right. So let's light her up. So you don't have to get close to light a cigar. Right?
No, you don't. You want that flame to jump to your cigar. You don't want that flame to be a part of your cigar. Yep.
Right. Exactly. Let's put it in a little spot. Okay. Wow, I just got a chocolate note right off the top. I'm not getting any of that leather, but I'm getting like some sweetness,
right?
A little bit of earthiness. I'll tell you, this is how I kind of remember the cigar.
Right.
When they first, the original, and I used to call it like a chocolate candy bar.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think the combination and really using that Colombian tobacco. When you look at the proportions of that filler, the Colombia is not that much of the fillers, but that that Colombia to me adds that certain salty. It's like eating a candy bar that they made with some salt on it. So you can buy a candy bar with sea salt and all that, and that combination. And I think that tobacco from Colombia offers you this kind of salty flavor. And when you compare that with the chocolate notes of some of the other tobaccos, that is the reason I enjoy the cigar so much.
Yeah, and since you mentioned it, I am getting a little bit of that saltiness too. And it's real smooth. It's real smooth. It's not spicy, or it's just right down the line.
Yeah, that cigar, it was one of the first cigars that CAO. Remember, this blend was made before we came on board, and so but that was the first time that they really, maybe because they felt the pressure with the HBO to really do something special for everybody. So this cigar is really for everybody. Even the full flavor guys will dip down in body because the flavor is there. and the mild guys will dip up because the body's not there, but the flavor's there. I think it's a true medium body cigar. You can smoke it
Okay.
in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
medium plus,
Yeah,
maybe, you know.
afternoon after a steak dinner. This cigar would hold up after a steak dinner. Yeah, so I think it's a beautiful thing when you have a cigar that you can either just enjoy with a beer, a bourbon, a scotch, and also after dinner. And so when you have that combination that you can smoke the cigar virtually any time of the day, well, it's a good cigar.
Right. So I agree with that because it's the middle of the afternoon now and I'm loving it. And also we're going to get to some pairings. I brought the Macallan again this week because I noticed you had some, so we can compare note for note. All right, we'll get to that a little bit later. But you know, since you brought it up, you see, I think that the original did come out before you were working with CAO at
For sure, for sure.
And I was going to ask you, maybe you've already answered this. What role did you play in this, you know, reissue or this retread?
Well, you know, the team had everything to do with what wrapper that we want to do. We knew that we wanted to keep the same binder and the fillers, and so we really had only two, you know, opportunities to pick one. And so again, when we smoked the Brazilian wrapper, the Manasfina, and versus the Connecticut broadleaf, one of my favorite wrappers to work with is Connecticut broadleaf. So I kind of went into this project. I know what's going to win, but what won was that wrapper with that filler really matches, and the struggles with the broadleaf because the broadleaf wants to dominate that filler. So it was easy for us to make the decision and keep the cigar alive and go back in time because we knew that was a cigar that everybody, fans of CAO, wanted back from us.
Yeah, could you just give the audience just an idea of the flavor or the profile of Colombian tobacco? I don't, you know, you don't see it that often.
No, you don't. And there's one of the, you know, the tobaccos that I was not a very big fan of when I first tasted that tobacco, because what we do is we smoke that tobacco as a fuma, and that is just that one leaf. And to me, it was kind of salty, but it didn't deliver much of the flavor that I wanted from tobacco. But what I realized that Colombia does is it's like salt. If I give you a spoonful of salt in your mouth, you're not going to enjoy that.
No.
But if I give you that same spoonful of salt and spread it over a steak, oh, that is magic. So we realized Colombia on its own is not a good tobacco, but it blends very well with other tobaccos to highlight or offer a unique flavor to your you know, your blend.
It seems to go well with Nicaraguan too.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the other brands, I think it might be Gran Habano. I think they use some Colombian in there. Anyway, let me ask you about the company you work for, CAO. What really distinguishes CAO from the other brands? Would you call it like the artisan section of the general cigar, you know, or whatever?
Yeah. I think so. You know what we enjoy about working on this plan from marketing to the manufacturer side is we're not painting the corner. So we're not tied to history. You know, there's some lines out there that they're known for certain things.
Right.
So one guys are now, oh, bro, you do great full body, spicy, in your face kind of cigars. Great cigars. But when they try to introduce a mild, you know, everyday smoke, they struggle with that because their fans are, well, I'm not buying that style from you. I buy that style of full body from you. And so with CAO, because we have this group called Classics, New Age, World, and Flavors, we have a blank sheet. So really, if you just dig deeper and say, what does, you know, CAO represents? What it represents to me and my team and marketing is the DNA of CAO is offering new tobaccos from around the world. They were the first to introduce using a wrapper from Brasilia for Brasilia. They were first to introduce, Italian tobacco in the blend. And so,
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, the
yeah,
Italian.
so they're known for that. So that's the reason we got the Amazon tobacco handed to us, because when you look at General Cigar or SCG and say, we have this unique tobacco from the Amazon, which line would it fit in? You could not do Amazon Basin and Macanudo or Partagas or Cohiba or Punch. It doesn't really. But CAO, oh, they're known for introducing new tobacco. So it is a fun company to work for, because we have the ability to say, you want full body, we can do that. You want mild, we can do that. Medium body, you want a flavor cigar, we can do that. So anything is offered to us, and we can produce a great cigars.
Yeah, I think CAO is the wild child of General Cigar.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? End of the day, they're smart enough to leave us alone. I've never been forced to use tobacco that I don't want to. I've never been denied using tobacco that we wanted to use. And so apparently what we're doing as a team, marketing and factory-wise, General Cigar and SEG is looking down. So, hey, guys, run your ship, because whatever you're doing, your launch of basins and flatheads and Consigliere and on and on and on, you got this market down. So continue. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So let's get some tasting notes. What are you getting right now where you're at? I'm getting it's very, very smooth. The burn is pretty good, and still getting some of that saltiness. Maybe a little wood, kind of an oaky or cedar note.
I say nothing woodsy to me. Woodsy. I don't want to say beef and all that, but there's something going on here. Woodsy and to me, sweet and maybe some spice to. I mean, some saltiness to it.
Yeah, it's just really, really nice. And the draw. My mind is still a little bit tight, but it's not so tight that it's affecting anything. I'm still getting a nice volume of smoke here. You can see.
So your cigar was made on a Friday at 4:45. Sometimes they rush that cigar. So if I'm smoking right now a beautiful handmade cigar that was made on Tuesday. They were very focused on that cigar.
But it's still really good. I mean, it's pretty well packed, So, I mean, this thing is full to the brim in terms of the tobacco, not the strength. It's the strength wise, it is definitely medium right down the line.
Yeah.
One of the other things I wanted to ask you is, like, what's a typical day for Rick Rodriguez? Like, you get up in the morning.
Today,
when you're not being confined to your home, okay? Like when you have a regular work day, like.
Typically, if I'm not in the factories and all that, what I do for a living before the virus and all that, when we had to lock ourselves in our homes, I was traveling. So I go around the world talking about our cigars, what we do, and just sharing the stories behind each and every cigar. Because gone are the days that you can just announce we have a new cigar and put it on the market. These consumers are getting smarter and smarter, not because they want to catch you, but because they want to learn more about what we're doing. So you have to have the story behind, why did you use this tobacco? Where did you grow that tobacco? What region in that country? So the questions are getting smarter, and for us to not have a story behind every project is hard. So typically what I do is, I work with the local reps, and I do events, and that is what I love. I love visiting the factory. I really do. It's going home for me a lot of times, but for me to share what we do with the fans of CAO and reach out and talk to them, what do you want from us? And that is a very important thing that we want to know from the fans of CAO. So typically, I just fly around the world and doing events, and if not, go to the factories and work with my family in the factories and making sure our new lines are ready to be released, or the older lines, or kind of keep in place and making sure the blends are exactly what the audience wants from us.
Yeah, what a life, right?
You know what? It is not bad. I would love to lie to you. Oh, you work so hard, bro. When you're not, when you're doing something you love, I don't work. I really don't. I collect a paycheck, but for what I think it's for my hobby and what I love to do. So thank you so much, SCG, to allow me to make a living over my hobby.
But on June 18th at 7 p.m., you can catch Rick on cigarworld.com. He's going to be doing a live virtual smoke. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So look for that. And I'm just smoking my CAO Consigliere Soldier here. And look at this nice ash. The ash is really nice. And the burn is straightened right out. It's nice and firm.
Again, compliments to the rollers. Every manufacturer out there, they would, say, "Oh, bro, we can blend, we can launch marketing," but at the end of the day, it comes for the rollers. Because even if I had the greatest blend known to man and the greatest tobaccos, the rollers can destroy that cigar because they're putting too much of this, or not enough of this, or too tight, too loose. So any cigar you're smoking, you want to reach out to us and say, "Oh, bro, thank you. You know what? Hold on with a thank you for me. Thank my team behind me, the rollers, because they're doing the job that enables you to enjoy that cigar." The blending is easy. The rolling every week, every month, every year, that's hard. That's hard. So all compliments to the rollers.
Hey, I want to switch gears a little bit, and that's no pun, because I want to talk about the flathead cigars that you created.
Okay.
And they're really unique. And I know that the V660 carb got a classic, and this is a hell of a score, 95.
Yeah.
95. Not too many cigars get 95, and which jumped it into the #3 slot in Aficionado's Top 25 of 2015. So it's not all that long ago, really. And they're still really popular. Was that your first major hit? And how'd you feel about that when you got that 95?
Bro, when I received, the PR director called me, and I knew that they were counting down. You remember back in the day, they used to release at the top, 20 cigars, and they'll rate the first 5, the second 5. And so she says, "Are you keeping up this?" And nope. He says, "You have a cigar that's rated." Okay, which one? The flathead. Like, really? Okay, I know it was a good cigar, but Ricky, what do you think you are for? I said, "You know what? Number 17. No, lower than that." "Oh, really? Number 13. No, lower." "I don't, Victoria, I don't know. Where?" #3 cigar of the year and a 95. Bro, I broke down. Because I was kind of tearful. I remember looking up to the heavens and saying, "Thank you so much to Mr. Coleman." Mr. Coleman passed away, but he was the owner of General Cigar and gave me my opportunity to be a blender. And he knew something I didn't know in myself. You have the ability. All we need to do is train you. So the minute I received that great information, I kind of cried to the company. It's like, "Thank you for believing in me, and this is the way I had to pay you back." And this cigar rating, this is the highest rating cigar that General Cigar has ever received. A 95.
Really? Not even like an old Partagas or a Magnum?
95. I think a Gloria had a 93 one time.
Yeah.
95, and the highest rating of cigar of the year, a #3. And so for us to not only have one, but both of those, kind of situations, like we can hang our hat, we have the highest rating and the top rated cigar of the year. That was an honor. It was an honor. And you know what, to tell you the truth, behind the scenes, that cigar was created very quickly too, because I was working on another project that before I released Flathead. And so that was a whole new, another story that we can share maybe later on. But that was something special because, we had to rush everything. We only had about 2 weeks to walk on the project called Flatheads. 2 weeks to develop the blend, the packaging, the bands, and the presentation and the story behind it. And they usually give us a year, and we did it in less than 2 weeks. And it's the #1 selling cigar for CAO. It is the second best-selling cigar for General Cigar. And the carb, the 6x60, is the #1 producing cigar that we make in General Cigar. The #1 size of what line is Flathead 6x60. We make more of those cigars than any other cigar that we have for General Cigar or SCG.
Yeah, I need to have it's got some weight to it. Now it's box pressed, and which I like better in a 6x60 because I don't really do too many 60 rings, but that's definitely one I usually reach for in that size, and it's just so flavorful. You can see why it got a high rating. Actually, this is really going great now. Look at that nice cone. Amazing. And it's really sweetening up now. Really nice. Wow.
But I can share this with you about the box press. When we were making the Flathead, it was a round cigar. And I remember telling my team, it's burning too hot in my mouth. The smoke is too hot. Either we have to change the blend or something because we need to cool it down. And so my roller that works behind me, that rolls every sample that I'm working on, every blend, said, Ricky, why don't you box press it? And automatically I knew what he meant by that. When you box press cigars, when you have a round cigar, you can completely shut your lips around the cigar, only drawing air and smoke through the cigar. But when you have a box press, you cannot shut your lips around it. You have openings. And when you draw in your smoke, you also draw in air. That air cools your smoke down in your mouth, thus you have more flavor. So that's the only
real carburetor.
Exactly. So that's the only reason that we box press that cigar. That's the only reason we wanted you to be able to taste more of that blend if we just made it box press versus the round cigar.
Yeah. Are you really into cars too? I mean, is that like a hobby of yours?
You know what? I love the old cars. I'm not, I never collected cars, but I was kind of a strange little kid. I didn't watch a lot of cartoons when I was growing up. A lot of my friends were watching cartoons. But in Tampa, we had this old TV station that on Saturday mornings, where everybody was watching cartoons, they played those old gangster movies, and I loved it. And I remember one of my favorite movies, the getaway driver said, "Don't worry about it. I have a Ford Flathead engine." And I remember that. And I said, if I ever have the opportunity to launch a cigar, not that back then, but when I was launching a cigar, I'm going to call it Flathead because I have a story behind that I think is going to resonate with a lot of people.
Wow. All right. We got a little extraneous noise there. I don't know how to.
It's in my yard guy. It's in my yard guy. He should be going away.
Okay. I hope we didn't lose your audio there. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is something that came out a little more recently, which is the CAO session. And I know you're very proud of that one. Now, you did this with Yuri Gillen, right? Or Guillen? I don't know. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
So Yuri Guillen. So what we'll do is, it's a combination of things that happen per session. And one of my funnest projects to work on, because it allowed me to share a little bit about my personal life with the fans of CAO and also get them involved in what we're going to launch. Okay, so let's go back. About 3 years ago, we was asking this question. We asked this question on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. What do you want to know about Ricky? And the response back was overwhelming. Well, we see him doing events all over the world, but he's never doing Facebook Live or anything in his house. and so his personal life. So our question is, where does he smoke his cigars when he's at home? And you can see I have a man cave. And so, okay, that's interesting. So they want to know where I'm smoking cigars. Okay, so we started down this journey. And so marketing says, okay, let's name it Garage. I said, bro, I love that. Garage. It ties out to Flathead, Garage, Steel Horse. Bro, this is a great thing. We did some research, but Garage was taken. So we couldn't use that name. And so we went back to the drawing board. And then marketing says, okay, Ricky, when you're working on new blends, what do you do with those? What do you share those cigars? I said, bro, when I come home and I'm working on a new project, I have 2, 3, 5 blends I'm working on, trying to decide which one is going to be right for this project. I carry it home, and I have a great group of friends that are very honest with me, and they kind of share what they think about the cigars. So every time I was coming back to my house with these samples, I text my friends cigar session. And they knew they were going to come to my house. The only time I did cigar session, they knew they were going to come to my house and try new cigars. And marketing said, okay, bro, back up, cigar session. So that's like your herp. Yes, if you want to call it a herp, I don't play an instrument. I don't jam with my friends. We get together, we call this a cigar session. And it's just kind of sitting around, talking, sharing information, stories. And so, bro, I love that. So now we have sessions. Got a great name. I'll work on the marketing. I'll work on the design of the box. What's your blend? Or you know what? I've been asking this question for the last 2 or 3 years, or 1 or 2 years. What do you want? And when I ask this question to our fans, they say, Ricky, we love your dark wrappers. If you can ever make a cigar that has a dark wrapper, some spice to it, and some sweetness, we can support that. And that cigar blend for session is a blend that I admit we did not create. The fans of CAO created. So all the kind of the love for that product or the glory go to the fans of CAO, because all we did was listen to the fans. What do you want from us? A dark wrapper, spice and sweetness? We can do this. And so that blend was created. So it really was fun, because even the sizes are named where I do my business. And garage, shop, and garage. Yeah. So when you look at what the names of the sizes, oh, you're smoking the garage. That's where Ricky smokes. Oh, you're smoking the shop. That's where Ricky works. You're smoking the bar. That's where Ricky drinks after he's working. So it all comes together, and it was a great project to work on.
It's a tribute to yourself.
Yeah.
And to the fans, really.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about that, because you said you like Connecticut broadleaf, and I believe the session has a Connecticut broadleaf.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And what is post fermentation? What is that? It says it has a post fermentation wrapper. What's
post fermentation is after the fermentation process is over, kind of completed. We do an extra fermentation, a short fermentation, but what it allows us to do is really draw out that flavor of that tobacco, because the heat source is lower, and we're not trying to cook up any impurities. That's already been done in the first or second process. And so the post process is after the fact. You want a little bit darker, you want a little bit more of that flavor, and that is done, that post, and it's going to be either 3 to 5 weeks fermentation, but low temperatures, very simmering that tobacco.
Well, okay, I'm glad you explained that, because I know the people who watch, this and subscribe to Cigar Advisor, they like to know all those little details,
Exactly.
Baseball.
Yeah.
So right now, the cigar is locked in. It's still a little salty, still sweet. I'm still getting a little ribbon of chocolate, and that nice woodiness, and and I got to tell you, it's medium right down the line. The cigar, you know, you could say a cigar looks strong, you know, but I thought this was going to be a lot stronger, especially with, you know, the blend that you had here, but it's really, really well balanced. Yeah. And what do you like pairing this with? I know you brought the Macallan.
Yeah, so Macallan would be, you know, what I do after dinner. And so, but just sitting down with my friends, my friend paired this.
Oh, okay. Is that the sear?
Yep. And he brought this over about 2 weeks ago when I found out we're going to do this. And I said, bro, I'm going to be here because he loved that cigar. He loves these, you know, Consigliere. And I'm pairing this. Try this pairing. I said, bro, wow. Okay. Okay. Because I'm usually a Bud Light drinker, but that to me is a great pairing with this cigar.
And what is it called again?
Nevada. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Oh, okay. So it's an IPA? Yeah.
Very
okay.
good. Yep.
Well, I'm going to have my Macallan and toast to you. Salute.
I hate to see you drink alone.
We'll see how this pair up. Oh, that's nice and smooth.
Yeah, very. What I like about both of the pairings, I don't pair to get the same flavors. I want different flavors from my spirit and my cigar, but they match. And that is like, to me, eating a steak with mashed potatoes. You know, that combination goes well, but, you know, together, maybe not. But I want something, I don't want to pair on my cigar, oh, it has chocolate notes, so I'm going to drink, you know, milk chocolate. No. You need something to enhance it, or, you know, just pair it with.
Yeah, you want contrast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and this is really nice because the cigar is very smooth. It's got some nice sweetness to it. The Macallan is also very smooth,
right?
Especially the 12, and it's got, you know, that oaky thing going on,
right? And remember, we you know, said at the beginning we had some woodsy flavor of the cigar. That kind of goes away, but now you're introducing, you know, that spirit to that. Bro, this is what that cigar kind of began with, but kind of mellowed out because a wrapper is now, what you're smoking now is a wrapper with that blend. When you light it, you're smoking the blend. And now you're having the combination of all the tobaccos working well together.
That's interesting. It's interesting. You know, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, you know, you brought up Mr. Coleman before. You know, I remember when I first started in the business, and they used to, General Cigar used to have their dinner, you know, during the trade show. And it was usually at like Morton's Steakhouse. It was always at a steakhouse, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And he would get up and he would MC, you know, and he would tell jokes and stories. He was so entertaining, you know. And when you mentioned him, I thought of your other good friend there, Benji Menendez.
Yeah.
And you know that he's been a big influence on you. Do you still talk to Benji?
Yes, every week. Every week it's like calling. You remember the book was maybe 10 years ago. It was Tuesdays with Bernie. It was a writer that was had a friendship with an old man, and he just learned so much about life through this old man, and he wrote this book. So Benji is the guy that I reach out to, and maybe 80% of the time when I talk to Benji, we don't mention cigars. We don't talk about cigars. We talk about our lives and his family and my family. We're friends. I look at Benji as my father, and I know Benji looks at me as a son. And so that combination, it's like when you reach out to your father or your mother or your, you know, favorite uncle, what do you talk about? Yes, you talk about what you're doing at work, but 90% of the time it's about, hey, I have this problem. I have this, you know, joy that I want to share with you. And so, but believe me, when I'm stuck working on the blend, he's the first guy I call. I said, Benji, I need some help. I need some help.
That's the guy.
He did help me. I have a cigar coming out in the end of the year called Vision. vision, it was the old cigar box that lit up. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember.
yeah.
So we're going to
Bringing that back?
We are, but we didn't like the blend. And so they challenged me to update the blend and create a new cigar. And they say, we think if it's going to be a high-end cigar, we want you to make a cigar like the Partagas 150 or the Benji Menendez Master Series using Cameroon. And everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Cameroon, but you know, it's not my job to make cigars for me. My job is to make cigars for what the fans of CAO wants. And so when they say Cameroon, I called Benji. Benji, I'm going to come to Miami. You have to help me out. And that was the last project that me and Benji worked on. And we're going to release that cigar, I think, in October or November for the holidays. But nice. It's a blend that I created with Benji.
Yeah, I like Cameroon, but not everybody does it well, or maybe they just don't buy the best, or I don't know. But you know, I found out some of the Cameroon cigars touch and go.
Yeah, I think Cameroon is a black or white tobacco, meaning if you're into Cameroon, you love Cameroon. If you're not a fan of Cameroon, you just go away. It's an old style. It is because Cameroon has been on the market for the last 50 years. And so, you know, to me, what I've been told, because again, I don't smoke a lot of Cameroon. Ricky, the #1 Cameroon of the market by far is Fuente.
Sure.
Fuente is the #1 Cameroon.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the second best Cameroon of the market? I said, I don't know. I don't smoke them. CAO Cameroon is the best cigar on the market. And so you are controlling the second best Cameroon on the market right now. And so why not pay attention to that?
I think the CAO CX2, which is a Cameroon times 2, I think that's exclusive to Famous, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so some of those things we need to talk about, especially for the fans. And if you're just beginning and you don't know what to search for, Cameroon is a wrapper you have to pay attention to, because the history of Cameroon. The only reason any wrapper or any filler survives for 30, 40, 50 years is because it's good. If it's bad, it wouldn't survive. So don't ever listen to me and say, well, Ricky doesn't like it. Bro, I don't like pizza. If I say to you, I don't like pizza, is that going to really change your mind of pizza? You love pizza. Don't worry about what I like.
Well, let's do a little tasting note time on this CAO Consigliere Soldier, which has absolutely been great. I'm still getting that nice mellow. I mean, I don't, you know, it's sweet. It's been very consistent. Would you call this a complex cigar?
You know, I was going to say, I think what I'm struggling with to pick out one flavor, because I think if you have 3 or 4 flavors in your mouth, it's hard to decide which flavor is really reacting, you know, #1, #2. I think it's complex because all these flavors, when I inhale it, I have a flavor. But when I exhale it, that flavor changes on me. So I love that. So I think that when you have that situation, that is when I say that's complex. Because what you kind of get a lot of times, the flavors that you draw in and release is the same flavor. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just like that flavor. But
I just assume it be, and we've talked about this on Cigar Advisor a lot too, when we do our reviews. I just assume it be consistent and have a lot of flavors I like, than keep changing all the time, you know. But it is good, you know, it is kind of fun, I don't know, for lack of a better word, to, you know, watch the cigar change as you smoke it, you know. But I like a cigar, like what I like about this, I don't have to think about it. You know, I'm just enjoying it.
Exactly. They're great things to say. You know, there's some cigars, bro, you just don't smoke to judge them. I spent so much money on the cigar, it had to be this, or I didn't spend that so much money, I said it's going to be this. Bro, when you have a cigar that you don't think about, but you really enjoy it, that's a great cigar. That's a great
and you know what? This could sell for a lot more than $8.99.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Don't tell SEG that.
Oh, that's right. You know, you brought up the Amazon basin before, and I want to ask you about that because what I like about CAO, and we talked about this in the beginning, is that you guys do stuff that's really a little sometimes out of the box. You know, it's very different, and I love that rope-like band. You know, you have on that Amazon basin. I have a couple in my humidor. And every time I have one, I also like that one a lot. It's very different. It's very unique taste.
Yes, yes.
You know, it has this what do you call I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Branyanka wrapper.
Yes. Yeah. No, these are fillers. So these are fillers. The fillers.
Oh,
That's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the tobacco that we're using for the fillers, and that is the Amazon tobacco that they grow.
Tell us about that.
So this tobacco that when you smoke the Amazon basin, that tobacco that we want to concentrate, to me is a sweet tobacco, almost like when we're smoking a fuma of this tobacco. I was saying, bro, this is raisins. This is raisin, and a lot of people say raisin, dry fruit, prune, whatever. Yeah, bro. If you the next time you have an Amazon basin, cut it, Gary, and pre-draw it before you light it, and I guarantee you, you're going, oh my God, that's raisin. To the point that is the sweet tobacco, because what they do is harvest the tobacco, they tube it, and this tube is about this big. It's about 4 to 5 feet long, this tube, and then they bury this tube under a tree. The tree produces a fruit that's very sweet, falls from the tree, and it acts on the soil, and that is what we taste. And so it's very unique. And so we only receive 5,000 pounds a year. They only grow 5,000 pounds a year. So we knew that we're never going to be able to launch 100,000 boxes or 1 million boxes because we don't have access. So that was the reason it's a short run. The good news or the bad news? Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Well, I like to end with good news. So what's the bad news?
All right, the bad news, it is going to go away because it's not a predicate blend. So the FDA is going to say to us eventually that has to be off the market. So it was scheduled to be off the market in May. So I think we sold in January what we thought was the last batch of the Amazon Basin and the Oriental. I said, guys, this is it. We're not going to do this again. And we believe that in our hearts because the FDA said that to us. The FDA came to back to every manufacturer because of the virus. That date of May, we're going to move up to September or October. And so whatever you guys want to do, you can. The minute we heard that, my marketing director got on the phone with the factory and said, can we release one more time Amazon Basin? And we're going to release one more time in August, 3,000 boxes of Amazon Basin and 2,000 boxes of Oriental. And we believe in our hearts that's the last time we're ever going to be able to launch a cigar. And it breaks our heart because it's one of our favorite cigars in the market. We know by the sales, it'll be gone in less than a week, and consumers will buy it the next week. They're gone.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first, folks. So I know a lot of people love that
so
cigar.
Look for that. And so if I was a fan of that cigar and you see it again, treat it like champagne. Buy a dozen, buy a box, buy 2 or 3. I don't care what you buy, but save them, store them, and say only for celebrations. Do not play a round of golf or mow your lawn with an Amazon Basin. There's other cigars.
I like smoking it in a lounge because it's kind of an attention getter, you know, with that rope-like band. But back to our Consigliere Soldier. Look at this, another beautiful cone ash. The body has ramped up just a little bit. I'm in the second act now, so it's starting to develop. You know, how about you?
Yeah, that's okay because it's not going to ramp up too much. The cigar smoker is going to be able to handle it. I think the body is definitely creep up, but the flavor still consistently there. So again, I'm not a big fan of Body. So you know what? When you look at the history of the people that taught me what I do today, these are all legendary guys, from Benjamin Menendez to Coleman to Danielle Nunez to
I love Danielle.
Franganessa, the founder of Punch that we know in the U.S. And these are all blenders that blend cigars for one reason, for the flavor of the tobacco. Now, sometimes when you choose certain tobaccos, it's going to increase your body. But they never told me, concentrate on body. They're always saying flavor. And so that's the reason it's hard to look at our line and say, what is your fullest body cigar that you have? We only have a couple of full body cigars. We have a lot of medium body cigars, medium plump body cigars, mild cigars, but really true full body cigars, maybe flathead spark plug would be one. D19, another one.
Well, Brazil, I think this might have been before Brazilian is known to be very full. Well, I thought the session was pretty full, actually.
Well, I think I would say that is a medium plus body cigar. It's not a full body cigar. Yeah. But Gary, you're right, because if a guy smoking Romeo or Macadillo and you share a session with him, bro, what is this? What is this? So, but.
Yeah, and speaking of the great CAO cigars, the other night I had a CAO Nicaragua Granada.
Yes.
And I thought it was really wonderful. Now,
Very
you call it Nicaragua, but it's got a Honduran wrapper, and what's up with that?
You know what?
I know it's got Nicaragua tobacco, but
yeah.
See, the wrapper is Nicaragua, but what happened with that?
We made a mistake because when we tried this blend, we were so focused on the blend has to have completely Nicaraguan tobacco. And then we started, like everybody, what's your favorite wrapper? And I said, do that. And we smoked the cigar. Okay, I know it's not a puro, but this cigar with this wrapper is unbelievable. Because what we discovered when we did a puro, it was just highlighted the wrapper. The filler was in there. So we wanted to kind of show off the story behind the Nicaragua when they challenged us as a team to make it. It's like, really? There's so many companies right now making some great Nicaraguan cigars, from Papin, from Jewel Estates, from AJ Fernandez, and you want me to fish in that lake? Bro, how about we do this? Can you allow us to show the other side of the coin called Nicaragua, only the flavor of this beautiful country, without worrying about the body of that cigar? Because typically when you do mention Nicaragua, a lot of people, nope, bro, nope. No.
Everything's from Nicaragua today.
Exactly. Or it flattened me out because it's so strong. No, I don't like that. So we just wanted to show the fans of cigars, we can share a Nicaraguan cigar and take that scary body away from you and just enjoy that beautiful tobacco. So for me, Gary, I think that is a mild plus to a medium body cigar. You agree?
Yeah, it's medium plus. I was very impressed with it because I really haven't smoked. You guys had so many cigars.
Right.
I haven't even smoked all of them, and I know some of them were sold by other retailers too. They're exclusive, but
yep.
But I was really impressed with that Granada. I got it at a party I went to, and they were handing them out at the party.
Yeah. I guarantee you, if I could pick up on my computer right now, what is in my garage is what I smoke every day. I guarantee you, I have a flathead. I can see. I have a Nicaragua. I have a Session, Consigliere, Osa, and the New Hoya. I love the New Hoya. And I have a Liguria Series R Natural. Those are the cigars I smoke every day. So yes, I do smoke the Nicaragua a lot.
Let me ask you another thing. Well, do you still spend a lot of time out in the field? Because I know you did a lot of that early on.
No, yeah, because of the situation that we're living under right now, I think we're going to start to travel again, maybe in the mid or late July. I think we're going to have a meeting tomorrow about if you can find a state, a city, a county, a shop that can host you, 50 people or less, you can go to that shop. And so that I want to start. But for the last 3 weeks, I've been surviving doing Zoom events for retailers and all that. And so that was, I do about 5 to 6 of those a week. And so that keeps me busy and it keeps me connected to the fans of CAO and the shops and the salesmen out there. So it was a very good time. But you know what? I think Zoom to me is like, if you have a favorite band, Zoom is the CD you buy for their favorite band. But when you can see that band live, you buy that ticket. And so I know if we able to go back in this field, you want Ricky live or Zoom? Really? Live, live. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Exactly, exactly.
But yeah, so just to get back to our consigliere soldier, I would say this cigar could be smoked by anybody. Would you agree? I mean, you could give this to a novice, and I think they would really love it.
I think for that novice, the guy that smokes maybe 2 or 3 cigars a month or a year, that cigar would be great for you to have that steak dinner, that barbecue. Guys, let's go to the the band cave. We're going to have a cocktail with a cigar. Yes, but if you're a novice cigar and it's early afternoon, smoke this one, maybe not. But I agree with you. I think the cigar you can. If you enjoy a spirit like a bourbon or like, you can enjoy the cigar.
Yeah, and it goes with everything. I mean, I started when we first got on. I had my iced coffee because it's so hot today. I usually go to iced coffee in the summer, and it goes well with that. I mean, I think coffee goes with every cigar.
Exactly, I agree with you. If you say to me, "What is your favorite pairing?" A cup of coffee.
Really?
Everybody would say that. Yeah, because that combination of whatever, that bitterness for that coffee and that tobacco, everybody, when you go to the factories, they're not drinking water or beers or sodas. They're pounding coffee. They're pounding coffee.
Really?
And it also cleans your palate. And so when you smoke a cigar, the way we do it in the factories, if we're testing 2 or 3 samples, one after another, there's 2 things that Benji taught me to do. Either take a cup of coffee and set it aside and make it cold. So you just don't want a hot coffee. So when you start your morning to smoke, get your cup of coffee and set it, and you start to talk and all that. Okay, what's the first cigar? You smoke that cigar, and then you put it out. Before you light your second one, take that cold coffee, take a sip, rinse your mouth, never swallow it, and spit it out. And your palate is virtually clean. And then you reach for that second cigar. It's like your first cigar you smoke. And you can do up to about 3 to 4 cigars before your palate starts to kind of, wreak havoc. The other technique is a banana. If you ever just have a cigar and I want to smoke another cigar right after that, just a bite of a banana, shut it down, swallow it, bro. It's like the first cigar in the morning time. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I usually have like between cigars. Well, I try to pace it so that I'm not smoking right after the other. My palate, I don't think it's fair to your palate. I usually have like an orange or an apple, something like that.
Yeah, anything that because when you go to these high-end French restaurants, every time you eat something, the second course they give you sherbet.
Oh yeah, the sorbet.
Yeah,
sorbet.
Right, to cleanse your palate out. Yeah, for sure. So, again, guys, what I would say to you, anything you enjoy with your cigar is what you enjoy. I'm never going to come to your house. Are you smoking a session with root beer? Are you crazy? I love it, Ricky. You know what? Good for you. You found your pairing. So whatever you want to pair your cigars, where you want to smoke it, how you want to smoke it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to get to two more that we were talking about, the great CAO catalog, and I think that there are two cigars that are overlooked, and I think one of these might have been a little before you became the blender there, but the CAO Criollo and the CAO America.
Yes, yeah. Criollo was a great cigar, but they ran into problems because they changed the packaging 3 times. And once you do that, every time you change something with your cigar, you can just change a band. And these fans are going, what did you do for my cigar? You go, bro, we just updated the band. Nope. I've been smoking a cigar for 10 years. It's different. No, your mind thinks it's different because you're seeing something else, but it's the same blend. So I think that was the death of that line. We saying to ourselves, could we bring that cigar back? And it's always one of the cigars that I hear about and that we're kind of planning in the future to relaunch again.
Yeah. Well, I would recommend that since 4th of July will be coming up in a few weeks, try that CAO America. That's
amazing.
A hell of a cigar with the thin bark pull.
Yeah, and it's amazing that that cigar is more body that they think it's going to be. They think going in, it's America, it's going to be for everybody. It's got a little kick to it, but I think the combination of that Connecticut shade and Connecticut broadleaf really enhances that cigar. So yeah, it's I think America is the 5th best-selling cigar in our line. So if you look at our line right now, it is Flathead #1, Brasilia #2. What do you think is #3? When I found out, so no, there's no way. There's no way. #3 best-selling cigar for CAO. What do you think it is?
Oh man, there's so many. You said Brasilia was #2.
I'll help you. Gold. Gold is the #3 best-selling cigar for CAO. It's amazing.
Gold. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
We don't talk about it. Yeah, we don't talk about it. The presentation, matter of fact, we're updating the presentation. You're going to see that very soon. And because we're saying, okay, this is the #3 best-selling cigar. Ricky, you've never done an event around it. We never talked about it, but the fans are finding it. And when we were looking at the presentation of that, I said, bro, this looks like something from the 70s. Can we update and give this a box that represents that line? So you're going to see that coming out, and you're going to be amazed. And then Palone is the 4th, and the 5th would be America.
Before we go, let me just ask you what, everybody's been locked in their house and you're going crazy. What have you been doing for fun or entertainment?
I had my group of guys out here, and we're playing a lot of Dominoes.
I love Dominoes. I just played it the other day with my girlfriend. Yeah, she likes it too.
So can I talk about a little bit about the new launch that we have coming up?
Yeah, that was my last question, so go ahead.
All right, so that's what I'm doing. I'm playing a lot of dominoes with my friends and sharing cigars and just getting together. And so we started to plan 2020 last year. And so what do you want to do? So, bro, yeah, I just had this crazy word called Bones. And Bones represents this domino game that we play in Tampa, and marketing loved it. And so we're launching Bones. It's the most full body cigar that we released a long time. It is strictly made for body and flavor. And so, but the box, when you open it up, there's a lid. You turn the lid over. It's kind of has a cloth in it, and there's 2 dice in that. So Bones also represents up north when you go to the alley and start to play dice. That's Bones. We're going to throw Bones. And so Bones. So if you look at dice and dominoes, they were made with ivory, tufts.
Good sets. Yeah.
So Bones. So that is a situation that we're going to share with the market in, I think we're going to begin selling those cigars in August. August is going to be released. So I think we're going to have the ability to go to your shop and host a Bones event. And then, Gary, you're going to have the situation. I'm going to give you a domino table to give away. Or
one of those beautiful tables of carved. Oh, those are great.
So now I can give it to you. You can do whatever you want to. You can keep it or you can give it away. But we're going to do something like that. And so look forward to that cigar coming out in August called Bones.
That's great. You know, I'm an average Dominoes player. What's this? What one tip can you give me to be a better player? Is it all about the memory, about knowing how many guys?
You know what? It's kind of like cards. You know, if you have the ability to say, you know, when you're playing, you know, on fours, you have a teammate, and it's kind of like, okay, everybody has 10 dominoes. The remaining dominoes, I know what I have, and you see when you're playing the pass on that four, the pass.
Yeah.
So for them to pull another four out of that stack is less than you have in your hand. So continue to play those fours because you're going to wreak havoc on the player you're playing against. So just remember what he's struggling with and what you think is still in that pile, and the chances of him needing a four and pulling that domino out of that pile.
You know, we have
if that doesn't work, just cheat. Just cheat.
And it's a lot of fun. Now, do you play with double 9, double 12?
No, double nines.
Double 9. Yeah, I have a double 9 set.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here on the Consigliere from CAO, the Soldier. Terrific cigar, 6x54. Beautiful Brazilian Matafina wrapper on this thing. I'll tell you, it's just been fantastic. It's been very smooth, very, medium in body, not too overpowering, just very sweet, spicy. It's, I'm not getting as much of this. Well, there's a little bit of saltiness still in there, but I'm getting even like a little fruity note, like a tanginess.
Yeah, I think that salty note dies, halfway, a quarter of way or third of the way. Because that it's not that much, especially when you heat up that wrapper. When that wrapper kicks in, that saltiness tends to go away. But what I really enjoy about this cigar too, I love cigars when I blow out, I'm done, sitting back, I just finished my cigar, and I start tasting my palate. It still is a good flavor in my mouth. It's not like a cat took a dump in my mouth and all of a sudden I need to brush my teeth and all that. It is a lingering flavor in my mouth right now that bro, I don't know if I want another one. I know I want another cigar, but maybe the same cigar. Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, Rick, thank you so much for joining me today.
Bro,
this was really great. It's good to see you, and this CAO Consigliere Soldier, terrific. The whole line is great, and there are 3 sizes, and you know that you can buy CAO cigars. We've got a whole mess of them at famous-smoke.com, and while you're on the famous-smoke.com website, make sure you sign up and get yourself a free catalog, because the catalog's got more CAO deals and it's got other great deals. It deals like crazy. And for more cigar smoking advice and information, make sure that you follow us at cigaradvisor.com and sign up for our email list, because we're always doing some articles about all kinds of different things. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And of course, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for our notifications as well. And I want to thank you, Rick, once again for coming in. And that's all for now. See us on our next episode of #NoSmoking. I'm Gary Corp. Thank you and happy smokes.